Welcome back out into the arena for the last of our last 32 action. Christophe Lambert, one of the players of the weekend, takes on Chaos Cole Bedford. Mark Shepherd and Tony Holgate with you for this one. Looking forward to this, Tony. Every time we've seen Christophe out on this table so far this weekend, he's produced some moment of magic.
Yeah, he's been absolutely fantastic. And this would be quite a match, I'm sure, as Cole Bedford is his opponent this evening. Probably the most animated player on the pro circuit.
Against one of the most professional. Christophe's such an experienced player. He always does the right thing, very meticulous about the way he plays, which is he's throwing in a left-handed shot here.
Not very well, but it's oh. I was convinced he'd gotten enough then.
He didn't bring that pocket into play at all. Get himself a bit between shots here. Saw him not so long ago this afternoon against Andy Williams. Looked like it was going to be a convincing match, and then Andy found a way back into it, and in the end, good clearance from Christophe in the final frame. Not a good shot there, though.
No. Going absolutely nowhere off that red. So Cole will be sat in his seat, expecting to be at the table any second. Nowhere to play safe either for Christophe, so he's going to have to try and come off the side rail and kick this back. Wow. And that'll be ball in hand for the mercurial Cole Bedford.
I did hear him say as he walked into the arena that he wasn't feeling very well. See how that affects his game. He's already played 2 matches today, so he's obviously feeling well enough to get a couple of wins under his belt.
Yes, every frame that Cole plays, and if you get close up of his expressions, every frame is a pantomime.
It's just so animated him for a fairly simple shot. There's a lot going on. See, he always aims to the right of the cue ball, then seems to straighten it up at the moment of impact.
Having a good stretch of his arm. Such a talented player, though, without doubt. Possesses bags of skill. Produces some ridiculous shots at ridiculous times.
Came to the last weekend saying that he was considering dropping out of the pro ranks. He's been disappointed with his performance. Said unless he had a great run, something like running to the semis, that would probably be him for next year. And lo and behold, ran straight to the semis. I think he has decided to carry on at it after that performance.
Yeah, the game can get to you. It can be a cruel mistress, the old pool. It's not so much that he's landed with that awkward cueing, he's going to have to stretch across the table as well.
Left-handed at least.
Yeah, so that's a bit better. They played that very well. Back in A1 position. Just pop this in and leave himself a tiny little angle on that last yellow. Just to dribble down for the black. There we go. That's where he's going through that gap. Black in the middle. Tad a left-hand side here for Cole. Perfect.
There's a lot going on when he addresses the ball, isn't it? It started off on the right, moved to the centre, then flicked a bit of left-hand side on in the end.
Yeah, he's not orthodox, that's for sure. But a nice first visit to the table for Cole. Christophe will be disappointed because of that one shot where he ended up glued to his own red. Yeah, that's Christophe all over. I've known him a long time, to be fair. When he first came over the waters to play in the pro game. Young French lad. And I'll tell you what, and immediately everybody warmed to him. He's just such a nice, charismatic fella. But yeah, very passionate about, his family and where he comes from and all of that. But when he, like you say, when he's in that arena, it's almost, he just turns this button. It's like airplane mode. Nothing distracts him then. It's all just, it's the pool. It's the match.
Where he was waiting for his match, he was had headphones in. He was sort of standing in his own thoughts, just in the corner, preparing himself for the match. Everyone has different ways of getting themselves ready.
Yeah, but like I say, you know, he plans his season ahead, and he's not going to just fly over here for just to make up the numbers. That's certainly not what Christophe is about. He's a great competitor, a fighter on the table, bags of talent, the best player in France by, well, I'm not going to say some distance, because also, you know, we've had Yannick Vervies. There's been some great players over in France, but I think he just epitomises everything about, you know, the French mentality and the way they play, because their team, I remember when France first entered the World Championships in the early 90s, and they were, you know, they just started playing the game, and, you know, they were sort of like the whipping boys. But within 2 or 3 years, all of a sudden these players are coming through stronger and stronger and stronger. Now, you know, they're a world force.
Rock solid as well, aren't they? They've got a lot of players that were traditionally thought of as quite slow, but really tough match players.
Yeah, they are.
Yannick Vervies was playing under previous rule sets with a 60-second time limit. It was always one to use up the full allocation of time.
Yeah.
He did play on the Ultimate Pool Pro ranks last season.
Yeah, I played against Yannick. Stéphane Jain was another great player. Cédric Soubeville, he's been over here at the World Championships in the seniors now. Great player for France. When we first started, their captain was a fellow, and I'm still friends with now, Eric Lacoste, Frédéric Ballois, Vincent Faquet, who played for years and years, and then he went and played 9-ball, and he is now one of the greatest trick shot players in the world. He does all sorts of like card tricks with 9-ball and stuff like that. So they've had a good conveyor belt of players over the years now, France.
Yeah, as you say, Christophe very close, if not at the top of that list. Oh, as we see, well, this is all happening here. What has happened here? That's turned out remarkably well.
Well, Cole's there apologising.
Does this ball bounce out, or does he just miss it?
No, it spits out, and he plays lots of turn, and he snooked Christophe. So there's about 4 different things going on in that shot, as Cole can afford himself a smile.
Oh, where's this cue ball?
Well, Christophe not having a lot of luck at the start of this match.
God, is he ever? I mean, without ball in hand, Cole's in all sorts of trouble, but with ball in hand, he can get into this cluster straight away. I mean, this is about the only place you can play this from where you're likely to pot one ball and develop the other two. This is a godsend for him. I mean, he's made the best fist of that, though.
He wanted to push those 2 reds towards that corner bag, and be still sat on them now, being able to play them, and that's just gone wrong completely now. That red looks like the top one passes into that corner, which will give him a little bit of a get out of jail free card.
Needed to keep the cue ball below those balls, but he has got other options. He can go up the table and then come back down. He's got a good angle here, actually, if he wants to. Landed so perfectly, he just had the natural angle to come down. Take the top one, hold position for the bottom one. He's going to have to dig into this. I think he can
He's got more,
get enough on.
Just a bit more angle than he'd have liked, as you can see there. Great view of it. He's played that nicely.
And the fact that he's got the ball hanging over the top left means that he doesn't have to worry too much about the positional side of this. Comfortable in the end, able to get back out into mid-table.
He's overdone that a bit. Bit of adrenaline there, I think, from Cole Bedford.
Yeah, he's really got into that. As it happens, it's not so bad because he's got plenty of space on the left-hand side of the table. So just play off 2 cushions.
It's black for a 2-0 lead for Cole Bedford.
Just coming around to check whether it's tight to the cushion or not, just to make absolutely sure. You'd think this is close to a formality, but you can't take liberties with these balls when they're touching the cushions.
Down goes the black. And Cole Bedford, by way of a bit of fortune there, you'd have to say, has got himself a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, it wasn't much fun on Thursday night, that's for sure.
No, when you saw Shane Thompson out on one of the side tables there with a great big coat over the top of him, just wrapped around him when he was in between shots, which was quite a sight to behold.
Oh, as this cue ball. Well, the cue ball stays up, but unfortunately so does everything else. The bad start to this match continues for Christophe. Can't seem to catch a break right now. I'd had a few earlier round exits, but after the semi-final last time we were in Blackpool, came into this event with a lot more confidence. There's going to come a moment in this match when Christophe turns the corner and the bad luck stops, so Cole wants to try and get as far ahead as he can before that point. That's a nice shot, to really dig into the cue ball to make that angle.
He'd have loved just to have gone past the black ball there with the cue ball, and he would have been absolutely bang A1 as an unmissable. Have to play this in the centre, but the cue ball's going to be doing a little bit of travelling up the table. You're seeing how far he can get up, and he wants to get it straight as possible on the yellow that's just above that red, so he can pot that in the corner and just stop the white dead for the last yellow that's just beneath the black. No, he's got too much angle. He's willing the cue ball to stop. I think it's just a little bit too much. You can't just roll this and sort of dribble into the red to hold for that yellow. I think this is going to go a bit too far. It'll be interesting to see. I think you've got to try and hold it, so it's going to be dead weight. Oh, he's a bit wild with that one. Almost hit it with side. He didn't do either, did he? He didn't roll it. He didn't. It was a half-hearted effort from Cole.
Yeah, just didn't get through the cue ball well either. It was a bit jerky, that one. Very easy if you're going to play it like that to flick some side on that you don't want. So, chance for Christophe to get himself into this match. Oh dear, he's played a very bad first shot though.
Yeah, Christophe not getting much luck at the moment. He's just not quite at the races either. He's a bit out of sorts for him.
Yes, I mean, that shot was just very uncharacteristic. A long way from where he wanted to be. Not a terrible outcome, but any outcome other than clearing up was not going to be very satisfactory given the chance he had.
No, that's fine. I mean, if you're looking at this now, what can Cole actually do here? You can't double the yellow across and play a loss of turn because the other red's in the way. You can't see the yellow that's beneath the black. He's actually looking at going off the bottom rail here and trying to scoot the yellow up the table. Oh, well, he managed to get the yellow to knock the red in. The black's gone in as well, so it's lost a frame. Don't know what happened at the other end of the table. Just look at this. This is incredible. Well, chaos it is at the table from Cole Bedford. So a frustrated Cole Bedford to break us off in frame 4. Cue ball dead centre on the bolt line. And he makes a yellow. And these don't look too bad. They're open. There is an opportunity for Cole. Yellow's obviously looked the better ball. He's got a little plant he can play into the middle to get himself onto them. Oh, he's going for the reds. And that is a fantastic shot. He's trusting his own ability to get the position. I think I might have chickened out and gone yellow's there just for the simple reason that it was awkward to get all the way up here for these three. But he's just absolutely bang on, I think, for this one. Yeah, this is brilliant. Played a very classy first shot.
Yeah, that's a couple of classy shots. You see people try and play that and they end up getting position on one but don't clear them all up. He's managed to take all three while he was up that end.
He's trying to make it hard for himself.
Yeah, not an easy shot because he had to make a bit of an angle, but way the easiest of the last few shots he's played. He's got himself a bit out of position. You can still see the ball over the bottom left, so chance to recover.
That's nicely done.
Yeah,
very nicely
perfect.
done by Colt. Black goes in the middle, he's just checking. Two drop-ins now. Very quickly. Colt Bedford will restore his 2-frame cushion. 3-1 up, he's going to go. Down it goes, and a tidy little finish there from Colt Bedford. Plays a very, very good positional shot in his opener.
That's more like it if this cue ball stays up. Flirting with danger there, but he has made a ball. Would have been a bit unlucky to end up in off there because he was nowhere near that until he got cannoned. First glance, it looked like he's got an easy opener on red. Much about be able to see the long one to the bottom left corner. Yellows likewise, not much of a starting shot. Can you clip this one in? Yeah, went for the wafer thin.
All looks laboured, doesn't it, for Christophe at the moment?
Yeah, it's crazy how one match can change it, isn't it? It looked so assured earlier on.
Yeah. Maybe a bit of fatigue crept in because he's had a long old few days of playing. I mean, he's been in some marathon matches and, you know, he's 7-6s. I mean, tiring himself out, nearly breaking world records at 6 red shootouts.
Yeah, that's definitely been the moment of the weekend, hasn't it? He had a long day yesterday. He got to the quarterfinals of the first event. 7-5, a 6-all with that 6 red, a 7-6, a 7-4. As you say, he's played a lot of pool.
And you say that, and let's say, just say, for instance, if he lost this match, so he'd have made a quarter in the last 32 for his weekend's work. Is that a disappointing return for someone like Christophe, do you think?
Well, I think it is the way the season's gone. He's got just inside the top 16. He's had 2 quarters and a semi already this season. And he won an event towards the tail end of last season.
So an acceptable weekend is to say, let's say, 2 quarters or a semi and a quarter is acceptable for what Christophe should do, and then maybe nick a tournament once in the season and losing a final or something like that. That's what he's aiming at, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that's probably not the par score because in reality it's very difficult to make a couple of semis. But yeah, I agree. I think that's what he's aiming for, isn't it? As are a number of other good players. He's been known as a good player, but maybe quietly crept into the top 16. He's perhaps somebody that doesn't always attract as many headlines, but to get into the top 16, you're having to consistently either win tournaments or go on deep runs. I mean, his is a crazy story because he's been having so much better runs in the international tournaments than in the pro events. It's just the way it's worked out.
Yeah.
He has won a pro event though. He did win the Players' Championship a couple of years ago. He had an exceptionally good run in that, given he'd already been knocked out of the tournament once and then got a wild card back into the final group.
But yeah, just as we're saying, you can make a case for so many players to say they are of a top 16 standard. And they're like in the 20s, and just it's crazy, isn't it, when you think about it? I mean, when I played, you know, we had our world ranking list, and really the top 16 were the top 5 were the top 5. There's no question. You know, they'd always be there and thereabouts, and generally be one of Chris Mellin, Mick Hill, Gareth Potts, Darren Appleton. You know, these were the players that were in. Jason Twist, of course, Phil Harrison. You know, big names. Now and again, you'd have somebody sneak through and pinch one that was like, say, somebody that was number 12 in the rankings, that, you know, because they're capable. But you'd need, say, one of the other ones. You know, you get one shock every weekend. One of them would go out early somewhere. You know, they wouldn't get anything off the break and they get dished up. But back then it was the top 16, and then when you were down in the sort of getting down to the late 20s and the 30s, there was I'm not going to say golfing standard, because they could still win games, but it was very unlikely. You know, so when the races got longer, they were not going to get through. You know, you'd see the scores, think, oh no, Mick Hill's 3-all with so and so, and then you look again and it's like 7-3. You know, the screw's been turned, it got into gear. See you later. But it's so tight now; they're just so close together, bunched. Oh no, you know, you've got Tom obviously away over the hills with the points he's got and the run he's been on. And after that, you know, it's tough.
And even Tom, over the hills in terms of season's performance, but as we saw from him losing to Christophe yesterday, he still lose in an individual match. Meanwhile, Carl Bedford has managed to leave himself at considerable distance from this 8-ball, which is why he has missed it.
Did you feel that was a bit quick? He hit that?
I mean, I did, but I suppose in a way that's the way he plays most shots. So don't know if you can read too much in.
It just seemed rushed then. I mean, he's playing fast and then he's looking rushed.
No, I mean, undoubtedly he looks rushed. It's just does that so often. Pleased to report that the trophies are just being delivered for tonight. Interruption behind the players as the trophies are carried through. Have the ladies' final on deck later on tonight. This is the last match we've got from the Pro Series. We now have 2 ladies' semis and the final straight on after this. This is what Christophe wanted. The match was slightly running away from him, but now great chance here to get things back to 3-all, restore a little bit of normality to proceedings. And it does get back to 3-all. Chaotic start to the match. Yeah, there's no one more meticulous. As you say, there's a couple of feathers at the cue ball and gets down the rest of the way. Well, it's worth the wait because he's managed to pot a couple of balls.
And happily for him, there's a red come up the top of the table to assist in continuing with an attempt at the finish. I think in an ideal world, he'd try and move that red off the rail, but then just thinking his next shot, yes, the red will pass through those yellows as well into the top left-hand corner. So yeah, you want to move this now. Lovely shot. Not sure if you can get onto that red that's sort of in the middle of the 4 yellows. If he can get on in the middle, I don't think he's got that angle, so he might have to come back up for that one. If he could get on it now, it'd be very helpful for Christophe, but judging by the way he's digging down, I think he's coming down the table towards the 2. Well, this is a bit tricky. He can obviously pop the ball in the middle, but I don't think that red goes past yellow into the bottom left, so he's going to have to hit this very, very heavy, bridging over the ball. And it's going to be very hard to get the cue ball back. We can get to the side of it, so that's a bit more helpful. Yeah, if it had been bridging right over, it would have. When you play those hard, the cue ball starts bouncing a little bit, and be in trouble, but then he hasn't come back far enough.
No, the difference between being a couple of inches further over and here is so much in terms of the positional side. Just couldn't get anywhere near, just had to accept distance and a very thin cut. And a thin cut where the cue ball is going to just be running wild. He's going to hit the yellows, can't really control it too much, I don't think.
Well, you think if he makes his pot, the cue ball will hit both those yellows, you think then? So you're now relying on a bit of fortune to get on the black ball here.
Well, this has been a match where he hasn't had a ton of fortune. He hasn't had any there.
No.
Not that he was super likely to end up in good shape.
Well, he's going to hit the black. Now, which way does he go? And there you are, he's looking, he's going to go off the left-hand side rail. Go either or.
Harder pot this way, isn't it? But more guaranteed hit on the 8-ball. Normally you're going to go the side where the ball is closest to the pocket.
Well, he's looking at hitting the 8-ball into the yellow and getting into that middle, so will be interesting to see what happens. He wanted it much thinner contact to go towards the middle, so Cole, Bedford up the table.
Well, Cole gifted Christophe the last frame. Christophe returning the favour with an unexpected chance. The thing for Cole is because he gets involved in quite a few matches that we would describe as being a bit crazy and having a lot going on. To him that's kind of normal, so he doesn't really get distracted by it. To him this is probably just a fairly run-of-the-mill match. It's played out fairly well, just off straight on the ball to the left centre to run through for the 2 up near the break line.
Very good at this, Cole Bedford. During this match, he's picking off the remains. Nicely done. Just what he wants, a little bit of angle so he can bring the cue ball off the top rail. Have the next yellow in the centre. Trundle the cue ball down for the yellow on that side rail. And probably black in the middle.
Good reply. A chance he wasn't necessarily expecting to get, but he's taken them well. Halfway point of the match in terms of score and time. It's Cole Bedford that's ahead by the single frame.
And he's like a lot of us now at the similar age where we haven't got so much hair on our heads. And Cole came in, and Jason doesn't know Cole. So Cole came running up to the bar, hello, he said to me, he came round and he put his arm round Jason and sort of give his head a rub, hello mate, and he went, you're not Chris Day. And he thought it was Chris Day, which was quite funny at the time, and Jason says, no, I'm Jason. He said, oh, sorry buddy.
Okay. A different situation that could go quite badly wrong.
Yeah, Cole looked mortified, bless him, but it was very light-hearted and good fun. So that's how Jason and Cole have met now. So they know each other. So I said to Jason, you can expect some more hugs and cuddles now whenever he's about.
Yellow ball's in point.
Nice little shot there from Christophe Lambert.
He has to make these yellows though, because if you look at where the reds are, they're splitting the nicer of the 2 colour sets. About exactly where to go. Just need to take the plant first. Problem ball is the one on the left-hand side cushion.
There's a bit of an angle here. I mean, he could play this and kick the one off the rail. Opted to go up top.
to do some travelling in this clearance. These balls aren't very well joined together.
Well, he can move it once again. I think he's going to have a go, because I don't see any value in either playing the double or playing the yellow length of table up in the top corner. You've got to get onto that black ball. There you see, he's putting a bit of left-hand side on here. Sorry, right-hand side, should I say. He's trying to move it. I believe he tried to move that, you know. And I didn't think he didn't get enough side on it.
It was quite a tricky shot, both to get enough side on, but also he didn't want to hit it too hard, because if he bumps it too far past the pocket, it's not going to be easy. So he's going to have to cue a good one here. Oh, and he has.
Oof.
He's cued a very good one.
Super shot.
He's got a big pocket for the 8 ball as well.
Shows you they do go in if you hit them right down the rail at pace.
He's got to be a bit careful with this, because although in some ways it's a big pocket, it's one of those ones that if you stray too far off the line, you can double kiss the red. Yeah.
Oh, that's massive.
That's a good shot. I think he did the right thing committing to playing it cushion first. I think that made the bigger margin for error.
Yeah. That is huge. What a great shot, and a great finish by Christophe Lambert. That's to drag the match to 4-4, so bags of pressure on that finish as well. That yellow down the rail, wow, what a shot.
So 4-all via a relatively circuitous route. There's been some dramatic moments through this match. Wow. One of his better hit breaks actually in terms of the contacts, but it's come up dry. Good contact with the pack, good split of the balls, but nothing finding a pocket. Hard to call a winner in this match. Obviously, you've had Christophe as the favourite coming into it, because he's the higher ranked player and he's had such a good weekend. Right now, it's just been one of those matches that just no frame has really gone entirely as planned. There's been quite a few swings along the way, moments of good and bad luck for both players. And some moments of real quality from both players as well, has to be said, in between. Quite like to see this match get into the last 10 minutes, because it feels like we're going to be treated to even more drama once the game is sped up.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, that's a nudge he didn't need.
Yeah, he thought he was going to have a very skinny flick off that black ball, and he hasn't. He's hit it half ball. Now he can't get through to pot that red at the bottom, and he can't get through to pot anything at the top. That's a bit of a kick in the teeth there for Cole, looking at having to play off the bottom rail first. I'm not sure it's on. I think you'd have to clip the black first if he was in the right line. Yeah. Nearly a golf swing there with his cue.
Yeah, disappointing that. Falling down pretty early in that clearance. But not so early that he's cleared the table up a bit for Christophe. So now well, he's also got a cannon he didn't want, trying to get past that red to leave access to choice of balls in the middle. Still got access obviously to left centre, so no real harm done. Well, he's forced an angle there. It looked like if anything the angle was naturally going up the table. Just puts it in the side of the pocket just to get the cue ball down this end.
This This is where Christophe shows his mental toughness. Tight matches, you know, when it's just, you know, everything's in the balance. Ooh. Just opened my mouth and said that and played a bit of a rash one there.
Yeah, that's a disappointing shot. Needed to come past that yellow. Wanted to get it out of the way because he didn't want to leave it until last. He's got himself into all sorts of trouble here because he's got no other balls anywhere near.
Yeah, he'd like to have that one again.
Don't think he can carry on, can he, from here? It's going to be so low percentage. Yeah, he's wisely bailing out. If he was to have carried on with that clearance, the odds of getting into the cluster, never mind getting the yellow out, were just so low. Would love to have got the cue ball tight in behind the 8 ball for the chance of ball in hand, or for the chance that Cole might end up opening up the cluster. Now see the ball in the middle of the table, so he's going to play off that. He doesn't really want to do anything that might get the yellow out. It's okay. No real upside in potting that. Happy enough to have it over the pocket. So what does Christophe do? Does he try and play a containing shot, or does he try and leave some miracle angle and get the yellow out? He's generally pretty good at figuring the mix between attack and defence. It would really help him if Cole was to touch that cluster. Any nudge on the red would knock the yellow out. None of it. That's a pretty good containing shot. The fact that he's now got that red in open play means that Christophe can't really take a liberty and just open up the cluster and play a containing shot, because he's guaranteeing pretty much leaving a pot on. So he's going to have to leave the cluster of balls on the right hand side and play the safety off the loose ball. He's going to try and pot the red, or at least knock it out the way. Love that to have dropped in. Cole be tempted by the finish now. Roll the ball in the centre, leave an angle of the ball over the top right corner to get into the cluster. He's going into it from here, and this could go badly wrong.
Oh, Cole, what have you done?
I think the percentage shot was probably just to roll that in and play the disturb off the other ball.
Yeah. Went for the Hollywood shot. Now Christophe's got a double. It's very tricky because you've got to try and get the cue out of the way so you get the cue in the air. Now play it and punch it downwards with right hand side. Great shot. Absolutely brilliant. He's coming around now to check the black once again. And it goes past that red into the corner, so just a little very slow plant down the rail now for Christophe, who would bottom and drag. And Cole will be fuming with himself there. Went for the big shot. Did come off, and he disturbed Christophe's yellow and brought it out for him, and Christophe Lambert gratefully received his gift.
Well, that's not worked out bad. At one point he was losing the cue ball, but then it's got bumped back into the middle of the table. Big frame this. Christophe wins it, he's going to be on the hill in pole position. Cole wins it, back on level terms yet again. It's a bit hard to read from his body language whether he's upset or not. He's always shaking his head. I mean, possibly not quite where he wanted to be, but he's not in terrible shape.
Yeah, he couldn't make up his mind which route he wanted to go. He had to get rid of this at the bottom, early doors, whatever the weather. So now just wants to get this cue ball up halfway up the table would be nice. Now does he pop this loose one in? First screw back and take the one next to the black. One down the rail last. Black goes in the middle.
This has been a good clearance. It's the one he needed.
Wake up, man.
That's a 5 each.
Well played. That's what he needed to do. Couldn't afford to let his opponent get on the hill first. Gets the match back on level terms. Strides out of the arena.
Made ball in the middle. And they are open. Reds look the best choice at first glance. That's just because there's a couple of yellows sat behind the black ball. There's a red at the bottom of the table. I think it does pass the yellow into the corner. So you'd think reds will be the choice. So it's either cut the one end up at the top, try and bring the other one off the cushion. How's he landed? Wants that to stop. Does the red pass yellow go in the middle? If it does, this frame is well and truly open and available for Christophe to take.
That red has stopped just about in time. The one on the left-hand side below the middle pocket that it will still pot in the centre. Would ideally have kept all the balls at the top end of the table, bar the one that's down near the 8 ball. That wasn't quite possible.
I think it's landed in a perfect place, because if you say those two reds at the bottom are going to be the last two, you want the one at the bottom to be your second to last. Get yourself straight or just past the other red, so your angle is pushing the cue ball towards the bottom red. Even if you don't quite get enough to get the black will go off the yellow in the corner.
Just remembering the timing constraints and racing round. This will be his last shot played with a 30-second shot clock. We're about to enter the last 10 minutes of the match.
Right, he wants to be able to get this cue ball now down the table. Push this red in and get to the bottom of the table. Other red into the bottom corner. Just get straight or just past the angle for the red into the middle, and the black will just go off the yellow in the corner. That'll do. So as long as he plays this a bit right hand side when he cuts this in at the bottom, that yellow above the red, that'll be the buffer, but he wants to either hit it full ball or slightly to the left of centre. The problem will come if he hits it slightly to the right of centre and he can snook himself behind it.
The problem will also come if he gets to play a shot before the shot clock's out.
He wanted a couple more ball rolls there, but I think he might be okay. As long as he can see a third of that black ball, that he can play it off the yellow into the corner.
Yeah, it's lucky he can, because I don't think he's going to be able to get any. Well, I don't think he can even see enough of it. He's going to have to play cushion first and then black off.
Absolutely, he's got to go cushion first now. So any sort of contact in the middle of this black, and it'll go off the yellow. Just like that. Well done.
Good finish from Christophe. Gets himself onto the hill.
He's got a cut break there. Moved away from his central position blasting break. It's made a ball.
Bit of an ugly situation there at the bottom half of the table. Two different clusters. Hasn't got time to dwell on that though. Time a factor again. He's going to get on with it.
Well, he does have his extension he can use.
Yeah, didn't really want to use it just because it felt like a simple shot, but there might have been something to be said for getting the pattern straight. Oh, he's pulled out a good one there. That wasn't an easy shot by any means.
No, he's played that with a lot of right hand side to slide the yellow down the rail. Can he play this yellow off red and kick the other yellow out?
Yes, he can. Well called and well executed.
Black might double. I think it does double. I'm looking at the overhead. It does double back into the other middle, so you don't really have to move it.
Extension.
This is what you can't really be doing. You run out of time to be going around to look at shots from the other side. Again, got that sort of disappointed look to him, even though he's not in bad shape at all.
Wants an angle. Don't be straight for Cole. He'd like that to stop just a fraction more sooner. That is nearly straight. He could force an angle here with a lot of side, which he has done. And that's going to slide and snooker him. Unlucky there for Cole.
You can see he was about to punch the table and restrained himself. Gave it a more gentle rap in the end.
Yeah, I think you've got to be a little bit careful with the equipment. And
well, you've got to be careful with your hand. There's no point injuring yourself either.
No.
But yes, if you're not really damaging anything. So,
is there an equipment abuse rule? I think there used to be when I played, and I'm asking you that because you're the man of all-knowing stats and rules and regulations.
Yeah, I don't know if I can't remember if it's expressed as the equipment, but there's definitely a rule against unsportsmanlike behaviour, which if you go over the top, it could be. So, ball in hand for Christophe, can get into the 8-ball and the red together near the middle pocket. That jaw is actually quite helpful. It's probably better for him that it's bounced out than staying tight to the cushion. Would really like to get it done. This is a bit like his last match against Andy Williams where he won 7-5. Doesn't want the stress of the deciding frame. Would like to just get it won with a little bit of breathing space in hand.
He's played the movie, was the cue ball going? That's fine. Look, he's got it in the middle. Christophe Lambert now with the match at his mercy. And mercy, thank you very much.
He's done well here. He's got off to a pretty bad start. Had to weather a bit of adversity. Hasn't allowed that to trouble him too much.
No, but he was 2-0 down, wasn't he? Was he 3-1?
Yeah, and the 3-1 was only because Cole had potted the black.
That's right, yeah. So he's weathered the storm, found his way once again, and it's been a very good performance, especially in the second half of this match from Christophe Lambert. Bedford's had his chances though, but what a great game.
Great game. Christophe gets the job done. Cole Bedford got off to by far the better start. It looked like he could run away with it at one point, but as he always does, Christophe just never gives up. Dug deep, books his place in the last 16 tomorrow.